This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Greenwood, South Carolina on the 17th. That's going to be yourself and Tully taking on Sam Houston and Tony Zane. But then once again, a rematch with Ricky and Robert in Dorton on June 18th, this time in a steel cage match. This is not the main event. This is a steel cage match that's sort of in the middle of the card. So we're going to have to take time to set the cage up and tear it down. One would assume they probably set the cage up during intermission. And then, you guys have your match. But when you have a cage match in this era and it's not going on last, does it change your approach to how you might structure the match as opposed to a cage match in the main event?
No, I think it was probably always a mistake to not put it on last.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who, what the angle, what the title, what the beef is. You should just build to that. To me, that's dead time, stopping a show, even if you did it during intermission, and put up a cage and have that type of match. When if you've got Rock and Roll Express against the Four Horsemen in a cage, wouldn't you hate to be the next match when they tore that cage down?
Yeah, I don't want any part of that.
What a bullshit spot that is. Jesus. So I think those were mistakes that were made at the time, but far be it, from us to say, hey, I wouldn't do that. We were just glad to be in the spot, but it should always build to a cage. In those days, it was a simple fact. Cage matches were for baby faces that had been wronged, had been tag teamed, had been triple teamed, had been run in on, had been screwed every way imaginable. Once you put that cage up and you got that, whoever the victim had been, the baby face, and whoever the perpetrator had been, once they locked them in that cage, it was payday for the good guys. And that's the way that it was done. And you took a beating and you bled your ass off. And when it was all said and done, you feel like, okay, that dog had his day. And that's what a cage match was for. That's what the audience paid to see, because they knew that it was going to be that way. And it was just a good foreshadowing of things to come.
We should mention that you're going to do a TV taping in Spartanburg on the 3rd. And you're actually going to go on last in a dark match. Once again, Ricky and Robert on one side, you and Flair on the other. Is there a difference in your approach? Obviously, if it's a television quote unquote squash match, we understand what that is, but from a regular house show versus a dark match after a television taping, as an in-ring performer in that era, is the approach any different at all?
Well, number one, you have to analyze what they've seen during the course of the television taping. What just, occurred the final couple segments of the show, and you try not to go out and do anything that's going to step on what you just saw on TV. You go out and you have like a regular house show match. But what you need to do always is find out, okay, if they just had a 3-segment, hypothetically, main event on the television show, and, which is a long match, and they just concluded it, and they had a certain finish to that match, certainly you wouldn't want to duplicate anything that they've already seen, if that makes any sense. You want to have a different, it's almost like television's over now. Okay, we got a house show match, but you don't go out and go 30 minutes after you've just seen a 3-segment match. You would cut that down to say, hey, let's give them a real hot 15 minutes and get out of there. It's a play-by-play, day-by-day situation. You just try to do something that will end the night on a good note and not conflict with what you've already seen.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.